within a year you're able to hit 6K, this can be really very comfortable. I feel that that is a bit more masculine, like that's a bit more the kind of things that guys would do. And as a female in the trading world, I felt like funding companies right now is an advantage. It might not be here forever, so take advantage. It's a very, very not ideal way to lose your account by not even taking any risk at all. Alright, hi everyone and welcome to today's episode. So I'll be going through with you how to get from $0 to $10,000 a month with just 4% a month as profit target when it comes to trading. So why I felt this inclination to come in and do this video is because I feel like 5 years ago when I just began using my $5,000 account to get started in trading, in order for me to survive on that amount of money, I need to produce 30% a month just to get 1,500 so that I can live on it. And compared to now, when we're having all of these funded traders and like different kind of funding company that is providing people up to 1.7 million in total capital, just aiming for 1% every month would bring you 17,000. So I felt like 4% is something achievable, as well as it trains you on your discipline to not trade the moment you hit 4%. Because to me, I think 1% a week is quite achievable, and even 4% in the first week is also achievable. However, the other 3 weeks, what are you going to do is the true differentiating factor to whether you are going to be in the trading game for the long term or whether you're just here for the thrill, for the high. All right, so let's break down how to get from $0 to $10,000 a month in a year with just 4% a month. So the reason why I put $10,000 in 1 year is because a lot of people come into trading expecting themselves to make this amount of money in the next month. When traditionally in a old career, you would expect maybe 5 years just to get to 10K. So why should trading be any different? To put this mindset over there, you're sort of giving yourself a bit more time to learn the ins and outs of trading before rushing yourself to start making money. I'm also going to put in my comparison of $5,000 to survive. Back then, I needed 1,500 for my expenses. And that is not a lot in Singapore. 1,500 is really the bare minimum, in my opinion, for people to survive. And I'm not sure how much is it in the other countries, but I'm sure it's also around this amount. If you're still living with your parents, okay? I'm not living with them now, but 1,500 was back then when, you are still living with them, you have to pay for your own food, your own bills. This is roughly how much it comes down to. So target would be 30% a month. Month on month. So now looking back at this, I feel like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. I actually quit my job and expected myself with 6 months savings to come out as a full-time trader within the first month of learning how to trade. And right now, let's say you do a plan of 4% a month and you go for this 200K funding. So for 200K, you can just go to majority of the funding companies. They would have already provided you this option of paying about maybe 1,300 USD if you're trading in the USD currency to get a challenge for this 200K. So let's say month 1, right? You hit 4%. In the past, to actually get this challenge, you would have to hit maybe 8 to 10% in a month. But with the current rules going on of unlimited trading time, you don't have to rush for 10% a month anymore. And what you can do is hit that 4% and then stop trading for the month. Okay? And then on month 2, you hit another 4%. So in total, you would have hit 8% already. So in some of the trading firms such as Skill Funded Trader, I think they only need 8% for you to pass the challenge. So you can look around at other companies, but remember that not all of them are reliable. Some of them actually went bust after taking a lot of challenge fees and they are unable to do payouts and all that. So make sure to do your due diligence in regards to that. So challenge passed, right? And then on month 3, let's say you hit another 4%, and this time you're actually getting more confident with your trading methods. You understand that even if you was to miss out on some wins at the remaining of the month, you know that next month when it starts beginning again, you are here ready to make profits again. So 4% is actually very realistic because it would have incorporated some of the losses that you would have went through also, and by month 3 you sort of know what kind of trader you are. I think a lot of times people can't even get past the first 1.5 months because there's so much emotions involved. When they're faced with a win, they go out and treat their family very well, and when they're faced in the loss, they just wish that everyone would cancel the plan so that they could mope around at home. So by month 3, if you're consistent every day showing up to the market and knowing when to enter the trade and when to not enter the trade, you would have a rough gauge of who you are as a trader. So by then, let's say your verification is only halfway, because most of the time the verification is roughly 5%. Okay, so by month 4, all you have to do is maybe hit 1% in the first week, all right? And then you would have passed your verification. So by month 4, week 3, let's say if this company is so quick with giving you the funded account and you can already immediately start trading, it would have meant that the rest of the month, aiming just 1% a week, you would have made 3%. Okay, so this is all in the ideal scenario where you're hitting 4% every month, you did not overtrade, $6,000 USD. And then you minus away 20%, which is 1,002, which is the profit split. You have to give back to what is funding you. You would have 4,800 USD, right? So if you were to convert this 4,800 into Sing dollars or wherever you're from, this would represent 6,300 Sing dollars. So this, I feel like it's really an average wage for someone in their early 30s. So if you're just starting out, you're still in your 20s and you have this opportunity to really master a craft, and within a year you're able to hit 6K, this can be really very comfortable. So I honestly feel like having funding companies right now is at an advantage, and as ICT said, it might not be here forever, so take advantage of it while you can. However, that does not mean that you should go around over leveraging. The thing is, from going $0 to 6,000 SGD every month, it takes a new mindset, it takes a new person. So don't just think that on month 1 this person who hit 4% is going to be the same person on month 4 hitting that 3% and then getting the refund from challenges. I know of a lot of people that went from challenge to challenge. They buy like 20 challenges and then passing a few. I don't feel that that is something I do, right? I feel that that is a bit more masculine, like that's a bit more the kind of things that guys would do. And as a female in the trading world, I felt like going slow and steady is my way of doing things. So now that you have refund from this challenge, you have this capital again. So from month 5 onwards, you can still go for that 4%, and while taking the second challenge. So now understanding yourself a bit more, you can either go for that 200K challenge, or you can already start going for the 400K challenge. So by this point of time, you would roughly know whether you have faith in your strategy. And there are months where it will be a bit more hard to trade, and you have to take into account those months as well. In a funded challenge, right, you are able to have unlimited time trading. However, you have to keep that account alive for 30 days. So what it means is that you can't have breaks for longer than 30 days because it will, confiscate your account. And I had that experience before where, I was unable to like show up to the markets for that month itself. And then I just didn't touch that account thinking that nothing would happen. And I also knew that, it's not a good trading month. And in the end, my account got confiscated. So that is a very, very not ideal way to lose your account by not even taking any risk at all. Okay. So moving on, knowing that what kind of trader you are, you can choose between 200K to 400K trading capital. And from this 4% every month, you're getting an additional income of 6,400 USD. When you multiply that into SGD terms, it's $8,448. I'm not in my 30s yet, but I would assume that this is how much people are making when they are in their 33, 35s. This is a really good amount. So know that in this ideal scenario, we are talking about 4% every month, and every month is just painting a rainbow and butterflies and all that. Know that you will have some sort of self-sabotaging habits that come out, and that is when you need to learn how to fix. Traders, right, on YouTube and all that, you can see a lot of their habits are like working out, spending time alone, reading, meditating in the morning, and like all that kind of stuff that isolate them away from the outside influence to really know who they are. So you'll be getting this 6,400 USD every month while taking another challenge. So let's say on month 6 is another 4%, and then month 7 you pass the challenge and now going on to your verification. And then week 1 you will be targeting 1%, and then month 8, week 3, another 3%. Okay, account receive, another ideal scenario. Okay, just plus minus 2 weeks from there and perfect market conditions. So if you're starting this funded account on the last week of the month, it tend to not be that well trading. So you can just wait 1 more week for the new month, and like not on a Friday, like maybe on a Tuesday to Wednesday, and start your account. So just plus minus everything into a year, right? By week 3, right, you will get your 3% from the second funding, right? So let's say if it's 200K account, once again you times 3%, this would be that 4,800 we were talking about, and you now add on this 6,400 from your first funding, 11,200. I'm also going to calculate if you were to do the 400K, right? This would be another 800, right? This is $16,000 in a month. So I honestly feel like this is an advantage that we have, and we are not living to our full capacity if we are not taking advantage of the ability for us to trade right now. In the past, we have to wear uniforms, and like a top hat and go to Wall Street in US just to get started trading. But right now we have this comfort of our own home. We don't even have to wear pants, right? And we can trade from our phones as well. So if you're living in Asia like me, you could be having dinner outside at 9:30 p.m., which is 12 hours away from New York opening, and just place a trade while you're having a meal with your family or friends, right? So that is not advisable if you are still in your beginning phases and you're still learning how to read price and how it moves, and you have that inkling that has to take time to grow into when you are still learning. But the possibility is there for all those beginners. The reason why you're not making 10K a month right now is either you don't have the skill set or you don't have the mindset, and both of this will be targeted in trading without going through sales, without dealing with refunds, without practicing your pitch, without going out there and sourcing for people. So I honestly feel like this is the answer to a lot of people who don't want to do sales, who don't want to sell something that they are not fully in line with. So the only way for you to, inspire people around you is actually to work through a lot of these demons that you have within. So 16K in 8 months is very possible when it comes to trading, but we will have tendency to self-sabotage ourselves until we are used to all these figures. So I personally don't think that looking at all these traders who have been trading for 10 years, looking at how they are making 16K in a single trade is going to be very realistic for someone who is just starting out in their first year. I really feel that 4% a month and then making that slow and steady, 4,800, and then moving on to like doubling that income within the next 4 months is something way more realistic. So if any point of time during all these months hit 4% and then you decided to continue trading and you lost all 4%, now you learn a bit more about yourself. And also, break even month is a win. I personally did not come out break even during my first few years because I was aiming for that 30%. So basically, this is the roadmap on how to get from zero to $10,000 a month. So what about the other 4 months? Okay, take 2 months, to just enjoy that full capital and like hitting that 4% every month on 400 to 600K capital, which would fetch you, let's see, in this ideal scenario, okay, 16,000 minus 20%, you would hit this 12,800. 600K is 19,200. So at this point of time, you would actually see that, wow, maybe money are just numbers on the screen. When you detach yourself to the wins and the losses of the trade, when you win and you're just like, okay, when you lose and you're just like, part of the game, that's when you really detach your old limiting beliefs when it comes to money, and that's where it flows to you easily. Everything that we have now is only available at 2023. If I was to say that, oh, I wish I achieved this a bit earlier, it's not realistic because the funding companies were not this great back then, okay? So with what we have right now, doesn't matter like what age we are at. You could be 21, you could be 38. We're all living in the same moment. We're all living in 2023 with the same equipment, internet, computer, nice working environment, food readily available for us, public transport being so reliable, you don't have to worry about something breaking down to get you from one destination to the next. There is no reason for us to fail. Okay, moving on. The last point that I want to make is that the other 2 months, right, while backtesting your method, while you're forward testing, I hope you are also spending the weekends backtesting your methods. Find out which months don't do that well. And, maybe it's December when everyone is going for holiday. The last 2 weeks of December, you can just exit the market. And then maybe for the first 2 weeks of Jan, you don't want to trade yet. That could be a month. And then another month could be August. We just passed August as I'm filming this. And everyone is really excited to come back into September. But also make sure that you place at least one trade in the middle of that month break so that your account is not taken away. So this few months, right, can also happen in between this month 1 to month 8. So be a bit more flexible with this 1 year journey. Journal everything because one day you will be wanting to read it. Write this letter to yourself and make it a good one. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!